So you guys really wanted to see this version of the deck, and as promised, here it is. What's going on, you guys? Slim here to bring you guys my Gren Maju Golden Castle of Stromberg build of the Gren Maju strategy. Gren Maju, our boy, just got announced in the new OTS 12 as a super rare. That is insane, and I cannot wait to actually get this card at super and upgrade this deck with the high rarities. That's gonna be awesome. I think Gren Maju has really kind of just came out of nowhere and just taken the format and just multiple formats by storm. It has a win under its belt from YCS Niagara Falls. It's so crazy. The deck almost won YCS Portland. The whole strategy behind Gren Maju has just been popping up everywhere. It actually topped YCS London, the previous YCS, so deck is still going strong, and this is a different build. This is the, like I said, the Golden Castle of Stromberg build. First and foremost, I want to give a huge shout out to Yishan McNabb, my brother Michael Nugent, and Rob Loa, and Rick Kindle, all the people I talked to about the Gren Maju strategy. And the Golden Castle build is, of course, the build that Yishan first brought to the public at YCS Portland. He ended up getting second place with the deck, and I talked to him at length, as well as other people that I mentioned about this strategy for the deck. Now, this deck is very different from the Danger deck. This deck is better at getting rid of back row and problematic, floodgates and stuff like that, and I really like it. The deck still OTKs very consistently, and Golden Castle is really crazy for people who aren't super familiar with it. And I got some crazy stories with how powerful that card has been. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. If you guys are new here, consider subscribing, hit the notification bell so you guys get updates when I upload. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. So this is the Golden Castle of Stromberg Gren Maju deck, and I'll just explain everything, so for those of you that are new, you'll understand how this deck is different than the Danger build. So yeah, our all-star, of course, is Gren Maju Deeza. 400 for every banish card, One Punch Man. It's not your win condition. It's like a secondary win condition. Sometimes you just get this thing big, you just punch for game. It happens, or they attack into it and they lose. It happens all the time. So this card is nuts. The heart and soul of the deck, as far as the One Punch Man goes, and I can't wait till he's in super. Oh my god, I'm so excited for that. Yeah, 3 copies of Eater a Million. So this is where the deck is different. So this deck is all about banishing. The Danger deck was all about drawing cards, getting advantage, just overwhelming your opponent. Eater a Millions is a really underrated card. It's actually one of my favorite cards in the game. I really like this card because this card, literally, you can just banish 5 cards from your hand, or I think it's your extra deck, and basically you just when it gains 100 for every face down banish card, and you attack with it, and it can banish a card. It's crazy. This card is so good at getting rid of problematic cards. It's really good against Thunder because you're not destroying it, you're banishing it face down. So this card just does so much work. You can put you can put this and Orochi and all these monsters on the board, and this is just an added form of removal. So I really like this card, and it's one of the cards that you don't see in the Danger build. So this is another reason why I like this build a lot, is you can play cool cards like that. And then, of course, 3 Orochi. This is the 2019 Snow. You guys know how much I love this card. This card is one of the heart and souls of the deck, because just being able to summon this, being able to make this thing huge, being able to fuel this, do all these things, all these cards work in synergy together. It's amazing that after all these years, Gren Maju gets to shine, Eater Millions gets to shine, and the 2019 Snow, Gizmek Orochi, really made all those things happen. So super awesome. Yeah, these are all staples in the deck, in my personal opinion. And of course, here comes all the hate. Trust me, I know. This is the only hand trap I'm playing as far as monsters go. Yes, I know every single profile Slim has to play Phantasme, and tell you guys that you should have invested in this card, and you should still invest in this card if you're going to high levels of competition. I'm sorry, you guys. This is still one of the best cards in the game. This card fixes your hands. It's really good against decks like Salamangreat and Sky Striker. You usually can always drop it against a deck that Link summons, unless you're playing against Lunalight Orcus and then Naira Azathoth you first. But outside of that, this card has just been insane. It fixes all of your dead hands. It just does so much for the deck, and it protects your monsters. So this card is great. Like I've said before, you guys should have invested them. If you have the ability to get them now, still get them now if you're going to higher levels of competition. If you're not, I wouldn't suggest it. They are extremely pricey, but again, this card is worth its weight in gold. The card is so good. So yeah, that's the main hand trap I wanted to play in this deck, since this deck is a different type of strategy. On to the level 8 package. So we've got, of course, the 3 Bigfoot and the 3 Thunderbird. This doesn't need explanation. They're upstart goblins. They pop cards when they're discarded, and they're huge, and they fuel the rank 8 strategy, so it's pretty insane. And then the Golden Castle cards. So we've got 3 Glyph and the 2 Hextrude. So these cards are awesome. So this card searches Golden Castle. If this card is normal summoned, you're able to target a card in your opponent's spell and trap zone, destroy it. Pretty cool. You never really use that secondary effect. This is usually to pitch to search your for your Golden Castle. But Hextrude is honestly insane. Hextrude is bae. Like, this card is nuts. You summon it off a Golden Castle as Stromberg's effect. You're able to target a card on your opponent's side of the field, destroy it. If you do, this card can make a second attack, and this card can also, if it attacks a monster, can give another monster 400 attack. Like, that's just so insane. This card does so much, and it's a level 8. Like, this card is so underrated in the deck. For the Gren Maju strategy, for the Golden Castle strategy especially, I think Hextrude is one of the best cards in the deck. It sucks to draw, yes, but you can normal summon it if Golden Castle Stromberg is on the field, so you are able to work around things like that. So yeah, I absolutely love this package in the deck. You know, it's essential for the Golden Castle, but Hextrude and really puts in a lot of the work, and you'll get those random games where you do summon Glyph, and sometimes it happens. But yeah, and to round out the monsters, bam, yeah, I was main decking double Cyber Dragon, so this is very similar to the deck that I played at YCS Dallas. For a lot of people who actually saw me there, I actually did not play Thunder. I played this deck. I just wanted to play something new. I'll be honest, I didn't have a lot of time to practice, and I just wanted to play something else. Thunder, I had played so much, I just felt like it had such a bad Orcus matchup. I wanted to have a better Orcus matchup, and you know, I played this deck, and I only played against one Orcus, and I ended up losing in time, so I couldn't do anything about it, but I feel like I could have prepared better. But outside of that, Cyber Dragon is just insane in this deck. You are going second deck. You guys should know this is a blind going second deck, and opening Cyber Dragon against Orcus is so insane. You just wipe their whole board, and you just really do OTK them. The fact that Chimera Fortress is a level 8 also synergizes with the level 8 strategy, so this card is just, the card's been insane, and I've even considered playing it at 3. I know people play it in the side deck. I know Yishan played it in the side deck. I just really wanted to main deck it. I do agree that I wish it was a level 8. You know, that's really like overdoing the level 8 strategy, but it is just an amazing card just against Orcus. And also if you play against Cyber Dragons, like, I mean, you just, you know, you have the cards in your extra deck, you just clear their whole board for free. So yeah, so that is it for the monsters, and then the spells. So namesake of the deck, 3 Golden Castle of Stromberg. Okay, so I know a lot of people don't actually know what this does, and I say that because a lot of people did not read this card when I played it. I actually played this at a locals, and I literally swept the locals, and I'll be honest, I won 2 games out of the matches I played because people did not read Golden Castle of Stromberg, and they attacked, and they lost because the monster gets destroyed, and they take half the damage. So yeah, it's insane. So what this card does is it lets you special summon a card that lists Golden Castle of Stromberg from your deck onto the field once per turn. If you do that, you can't conduct your normal summon. Its other effect, it's a mandatory effect. It's a I call it the maintenance cost. You have to banish 10 cards face down during your standby phase, but you guys can see where that with Gren Maju is insane because it just fuels Gren Maju, makes it ginormous, and yeah, it's crazy. And this card also protects you from attack. So the third line attacks, the third effect is that when your opponent declares an attack, you can destroy the attacking monster and they take the damage. And I can't tell you how many people don't read that and they lose because of it. So yeah, this card, so insane. Now, I will admit the difference between this and the danger deck is that you do run out of cards pretty quickly. You do run out of resources, and it means that you really need to close the games quickly. Like, if you watched Yishan's deck profile from the YCS, he talks about that. And yeah, the one card that I did consider playing though was Necroface because it is like a hard reset. I'll talk about that a little more, but yeah, Golden Castle has just been insane. It's such a strong strategy. It's such a strong card that just not enough people respect or really even know about. But yeah, heart and soul of the deck. And then just good cards in the deck. 3 Potted Desires. This card is nuts. Doesn't care if it gets ashed. You're banishing 10. Like, it's stupid. Like, you literally just fuel your whole strategy. The reason to play the deck, in addition to everything else, 3 Super Poly, because you're going second deck and you just break every board. I know people are starting to play around Super Poly, you know, not putting 2 dark monsters on the field, but you yourself can put a dark on the field, and then you literally can just, you know, use their monsters, make a starting Venom, and yeah, you go from there. So yeah, this card is insane. This card should definitely not be at 3. And then some just additional draw power. So 2 copies of trade in. I was playing 3 originally. The deck's 41. I cut 1 trade in just because I started to realize. So if you look at the level 8s that we play, the Dangers, the Hextrudes, which is actually a level 8 too, and the Gizmek Orochis, the only card you really want to trade in is Gizmek Orochi, and I say that because it's like the freest trade in ever. You want it in the graveyard because you can summon it like snow, and then it really is, you know, just a free draw too. The thing though I do like is that you can trade in the Thunderbird and the Bigfoot. You know, going second, it does give you the option to pop cards, so that's cool, but a lot of times you'd rather keep the Dangers in your hand and actually summon them for beat sticks. So that's the reason why I decided to go with 2. I noticed that seemed to be the trend from a lot of decks, that a lot of Gren Maju decks, they actually actually just opted for 2, and I understand it now that you don't want to bog down. You do play a lot of level 8s, but on the off chance you actually don't see any, you don't want to have a dead card. So yeah, 2 copies was perfect. And then just the power one-ofs is just Monster Reborn and Foolish Burial. So Reborn is self-explanatory. You just Reborn any big beat stick. Reborn, Gren Maju, yeah, they die. Now Foolish is different. So Foolish has basically sends 2 monsters, or could send honestly any monster in the deck. But the reason why you play Foolish is because this deck relies more heavily on Gizmek, because it fuels the Gren Maju strategy, as well as being a level 8, being able to pop a card with its effect to, you banish from your extra deck face down, helps to, you want to see the card as much as possible. This is basically your 4th copy of Orochi. And also, if you are cheesy like me, in one game I Foolish to Gren Maju and Reborned it and attack for games, so sometimes you'll just be Yugi and you'll have, that luck. But yeah, card I think is still really good in this particular deck. I would not play it in the Danger deck, but I like it in the Golden Castle build. And then lastly, to round out the deck, I am playing 3 Impermanents. So I think the difference between a lot of Gren Maju decks is they don't really play hand traps. And I know I'm not really playing hand traps, I'm just playing this in Phantasme. So the reason I'm playing this is because of Lunalight Orcus. That deck is insane. I actually played last night at Locals, and it was my only loss. I actually had Impermanents for the Curious all 3 games, which was so ridiculous because I got Azathoted all 3 games, and I still was able to play, and, I was able to get one of the games because of this. Thunders did their thing. But yeah, Impermanence is just so good. I feel it's still one of the best hand traps. You can play it going first or going second. The column placement is important too. It does come up a lot, and you need this card against the Lunalight Orcus strategy, because when they make the Nyarl and the Azathoth, if you can hit the Curious, if you can catch the Curious, it's huge. The swing and tempo definitely comes back to you. So yeah, that's why I'm playing this card. Again, another card you guys should have invested in, because I think it's one of the best traps and best hand traps in the game. But yeah, that is the main deck. It is 41 cards. Now to the extra deck. So the extra deck, this is a fun extra deck because this is Gren Maju. But yeah, so for the level 8s, of course, my favorite one, we actually got an upgrade. So we pulled this last night. In our packs we got for topping, we actually pulled this. So yeah, this is beautiful. Ulti Dingirsu. Yeah, this card comes up so much. I said it in the previous Danger profile. I summon this card so much it blows my mind. Like, I'm not even playing Orcus cards, and I summon this probably more than, I probably summon this just as much as Orcus do. So yeah, this card is insane. There are times I even want to play a second one, like, honestly, like, it comes up that much. So I am playing number 22 Zombie Stein. So here's the thing. This card is like, I go back and forth if I really want to play it or not, but there have been plays where, it is a negate, and this in Castle's really strong. So the problem with Zombie Stein is you have to discard a card, and then it goes to defense. Its defense sucks. Its defense is 1,000, but if you have Golden Castle, they can't attack over it, so then you are able to turn it back the next turn, and 4,500 is huge. Like, you'd be surprised. Sometimes you end the game with this. I'm not 100% sure if I'll keep it in going forward, but so far it's been fine. In this particular build, as opposed to the Danger build, I like it a lot more. Yeah, and the other rank 8s, this should be self-explanatory. Is number 38 Hope Harbinger and number 68 Sanafon, the Sky Prison. This card is still nuts. It's a negate. It also, can deflect attacks back to itself if, you don't have the castle. Just being able to negate and absorb a spell is powerful. And yeah, this is just game against Salad. Really good against Orcus after you clear their board. If you're going first, you're playing against them. Yeah, this card is nuts. Yeah, definitely one of the best rank 8s ever printed. So yeah, I love the rank 8 strategy in this deck. Definitely one of the reasons to play the Gren Maju strategy with all the level 8s. Then for the links, I just got a lot of generic links, kind of like the last profile. For Nightmares, 1 Cerebus, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn. Before, we did play Mermaid, because, if they gave us Ibli, but that's not a thing anymore. So yeah, these cards are still good. They all come up. They all come up in weird situations, and I mean, you have so many free monsters floating around with, like, your Danger, your Gizmex, like, it just comes up a lot. Your free summons off Hextrude, off Golden Castle, like, yeah, anything you can do to clear the whole board and then OTK them is, the name of the game. So yeah, that's it for the Nightmares. And then I still play the BLS link. So everyone knows that this has been what? I think it's been in every deck. Has it been? I honestly think in all my decks it's in here, because this card is just so powerful. Like, Salamangreat and Sky Striker really struggle to out this card. This card can also OTK by itself. It has really good arrows. Like, yeah, it points to your opponent, but it gives me 2 zones too. Like, make more rank 8s. And yeah, I love this card, especially you make it the right way, because your monsters are so big, you're always gonna have a level 7 or higher. So you make this, you get its protection effect, and you get its crazy effects to banish, or to give it second attack, or to give it 1,500. This card is still nuts. I think everyone should have this card. It's a really, really strong link 3. And then just on to the last part of the deck, which is all super poly targets pretty much. So I've got the Starving Venom, I've got the Predaplant guy, still got my Dragon of the Swamp, even though I don't like this card. I am not a fan, but it does come up against Subterra and random decks. Like, I'd rather have it than not have it and then lose because I don't have it. And then the Violet Chimera, because that comes up, against Salamangreat. And then lastly, I got the 2 Cyber Dragon, guys. So this is free. This is also free. If Cyber Dragon Orcus was still a deck, I think people are still trying to mess with it, but pure Cyber Dragon, you know, you just absorb the board. This is level 8, which is ridiculous. If this card was level 8, I think this card would be even more insane than it already is. So yeah, I just play him though because, you know, you have the Cyber Dragons in the main deck. You have the ability to just catch your opponent off guard. If you play against regular Cyber Dragons, you just, you know, that's all she wrote. And you guys are noticed, this is 14 cards. If you guys actually count it, I'll let you guys know ahead of time. So this is 14 cards. You guys are wondering, Slim, what's the last card? It's number 23. Number 23, Lancelot. I still haven't been able to find one. I probably should just order one. Probably use my own link just to order one. But yeah, yeah, that card is insane. I talked about it in the previous Gren Maju profile. It's definitely a card I think you guys should have. Number 23, Lancelot. That card is so good. And then just to show you guys some other options. So everyone always asks about like the other options for the extra deck. Cards I have considered is the Galaxy package. It's just, it does commit 3 spaces to the extra deck. And yeah, this extra deck space isn't tight. But a lot of times, like in testing, this didn't come up as much as I wanted to. However, when it does come up, I mean, you just swing tempo back in your favor because these cards just get rid of a lot of problematic things. So that's another option you guys have. A card I used to play was Barricade Board Blocker to protect the castle, but it just didn't come up enough to where I liked it. But I mean, it's not too bad. Like I ended up cutting it recently just because I just noticed I didn't summon it as much. I didn't really need to after Castle Resolved. Wee Witch, it's just another option. You know, 2 darks. I don't like it because you know, Orcus are all darks, but I mean, being able to, you know, make this tend to really OTK them. I mean, it does come up sometimes. And then if you want to be cheesy, you can play a second Starving Venom because, you know, double Super Poly happens and, you know, might as well just OTK your opponent. So yeah, but that is it, you guys. That is the deck. The Golden Castle of Stromberg, just my version 1, I guess, of the deck. And it's going to be a deck, like I said, you guys are probably going to see on this channel, and it's going to evolve like all my other decks do. If you guys are interested in, you know, building this deck, I highly suggest it. It's a lot of fun. Consider using my TCG player link. It's in the description below. A cut of what you guys buy goes back to the channel. It helps me out, and I really do appreciate it. But yeah, another really cool deck to play, really fun deck to play. You guys are noticing, like, I'm going to be profiling a lot of decks that I have a lot of fun playing, and you're going to see a lot of decks that you probably wouldn't expect to see here on the channel. I'll put it to you this way. I picked up a set of Extravagance, so I'm actually going to be looking into decks that play Extravagance. There's a lot of decks I've been wanting to profile, decks I've been wanting to try, and yeah, you know, that card opens up a lot of options. I really do like it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the Golden Castle of Stromberg Gren Maju deck. There's been a huge debate of which build is better. I'd like to know your guys' opinion. Personally, I think right now, in this current format, I feel that the Danger deck is superior for a couple reasons, but I'd like to know your guys' thoughts. Which build do you guys prefer? If I want to have more fun, I feel the Golden Castle build is a lot more fun, but that's just me. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed the deck profile, you guys know what to do. Give it a thumbs up, and let me know your thoughts on the strategy going forward, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.